The hymno Riele, Phil Lawher.
Yeah, cummer tussy Kerry na Flynn, Manina co Nietzsche for the Bernard Brogan.
Da chosige huil gand out. Vanilla Hechin and Hick, a machige Keely, on a V. Crainer Fat Flynn in Renner, Hags Marai Chenley Road, National Sota Shanter Holach, Paddy Andrews, sauce to that point, Shint seeking in a lead, does the kick in a mach, and Mehemur Hiri.
Yeah, Druch young Hart, agus Paul Flynn and next Vian Fars.
Go more and Northern Sogs the Recht, Coimert on a Wachtern son, Paul Flynn. Wie chance to get Hennig, Tasha Delta Fadle Paddy Andrews, agus Tom Point Emshe, Gashu Villa, and Seller Cool Beder and son.
Yeah, Hashe Dakar Fechanter so Roddy Kena Hamara reached Hashe just a great Helene to Diracha, Hashet Munino, Hashet Sast, cool Rehinai Cool Kerry, Hashe the Borton Doragus, Kai Kerry Shell of Gal to Mohalara hurt no best.
Kerry didn't score for 43 minutes of last week's game. They haven't scored for 20 minutes of this game, which means they've gone over an hour in the Alliance League without scoring. Mikey Gainey looking to see Kerry gain something from this attack with Paddy Curtin, and that's put over the bar, and it's finally taken some 22 minutes for Kerry to get their opening point. Kerry managed to keep it alive here. Nicely done. Once again it's Curtin, blocked down. Caffrey takes it away out. Comes here as far as Darren Daly. 45-50 metres from his own goal. Redden now, keeping it moving to Michael Dara Macaulay. Smartly in towards the forwards. Bernard Brogan lets it bounce once, then swings it onto his left and scores a beauty. Best point of the match so far for Dublin. 5 points in this match for Bernard Brogan. Back from Macaulay. Through with the right boot this time. It doesn't matter right or left. Such a good player. Another for Bernard Brogan, so he equals his tally from last week when he got 3 from play, 3 from frees, but he's done it this week in the opening 27 minutes. And Dublin lead 8-1. Knocked ahead by Killian Young. James O'Donoghue drifts to the right. Switches it inside immediately to Tomas O'Shea. One man who can lead the way, and just listen to the cheer. 34 years of age at this stage, and Tomas O'Shea still performing wonderfully well. Just went through the heart of the Dublin defence, wasn't going to take no for an answer, and it's 8-2. Important now that Kerry make a strong statement in the 3 minutes of added time. But they've lost it, and Jack McCaffrey pumps it in. Watching it was Philly Ryan. Taking it here is Paddy Andrews, and stopped well by Brendan Keeley. Great goal chance. But Paddy Andrews drifts away, but then hits it straight at Brendan Keeley, who stood up strongly. Here's Darren Daly. Beautifully caught and controlled there by Philly Ryan, knocked on there by Cian O'Sullivan. Target man as ever is Paddy Andrews, and he manages to get sufficient space to knock it over the bar. Powerful work by Paddy Andrews, his 3rd point. Well, he had to work hard for this. Cian O'Sullivan knocked it in. Andrews got there ahead of Killian Young, and that was a wonderfully polished finish. Referee going up to have a word with one of his umpires. Well, David Coldrick has his tried and trusted umpires with him in Killarney, so what did the men in the white coats see? Well, he's calling aside Michael Dara Macaulay, and he's got a red card. And now he's going across to Kieran Donaghy, the recently married Kieran Donaghy. I think he's concerned and worried. And it's yellow for him. And now with 9 minutes left to play, and Dublin 6 points ahead, even though they're 1 man down, they'll be battening down the hatches and making sure they don't concede anything lightly to Kerry. At the other end, they still pose a threat. Bernard Brogan Neatly inside here for the substitute, Craig Diaz, and that's in the corner of the net. Wonderfully dispatched. Well, that could be the moment that ended whatever Kerry resistance we were going to see. On for Craig Diaz, and his first Alliance League goal, put on a plate for him here by Bernard Brogan, but a truly wonderful finish. And now it's 1-10 to 4 points. Well, that's a real blow once again to whatever hopes and ambitions Kerry had. Jonathan Lyne is travelling dangerously in there. Cluxton comes, and they try to force it over the line. And if they were in the Aviva Stadium, they might scrum that one. But the referee, anyway, has decided it's free. Well, that was a dangerous moment there, and Cluxton was scrambling for it. And they were trying to force him in and force him out. I think Rory O'Carroll has been watching a little bit of rugby lately. So Kerry having to build from a deep position now here. Mark O'Shea leaves it behind. Just a little too casual, and now it opens up. Andrews straight at the goalkeeper. Should have had another goal there for Dublin. Bernard Brogan might. Chance of a point anyway, and he's left it short. Well, Kerry have just been sloppy and lacking in that normal crispness that we see from them during the summer months. Brian Sheehan. That's Barry John Walsh. Down as far as Paddy Andrews. Slipped inside here as far as Paddy Quinn. Come on as a sub in the last couple of moments. Quinn. Ger Brennan laying it down into the path here. The man who's been doing so well all through this game, Bernard Brogan. And Brogan has got another one. 7 points, his tally. That's his first of the second half, coming as it does at the 69th minute. And he's made it 1-11 to 4 points. Well, he's running gamely, and he is chasing after everything and causing all kinds of problems for Kerry defenders. Just waiting for the final whistle in Killarney. There it is. It's a 10-point victory for Dublin here. They won at this venue 3 years ago. It was the first time in 28 years they'd won here. But today Jim Gavin's team has come here. They've played some splendid football. Kerry well beaten. Final score here in Fitzgerald Stadium. It's Dublin 1-11. Kerry a disappointing 4 points.
Yes, a successful visit to Killarney for Dublin. A good start for them to the league. That injury, by the way, to Diarmuid Connolly was to his right ankle. An X-ray will be required to establish the extent of that damage. Pat Spillane with me here in Fitzgerald Stadium. Pat, scoreless in the second half for Kerry last week down in Castlebar. Beaten at home in Fitzgerald Stadium today. Not exactly a great start to the league campaign.
Not really. 2 matches, 2 defeats, and the statistics make grim reading. 42 minutes without scoring against Mayo, 22 minutes there. That's 64 minutes without scoring from 4 points in total, 1 point from play from the forwards. Look, we are a team in transition. Unfortunately, the older lads have lost that yard or two of pace, and the young lads just simply aren't good enough. We're paying the price for the neglect of at minor, under 21 and underage level for the last 20 years. What was most disappointing today, outside the fact that basic skills, particularly that of kick passing, was poor, but they lacked intensity, they lacked passion, they lacked pace. And you can criticise players for a lot of things, but when they don't have heart, and a lot of Kerry fellas didn't display heart today, and that's not good enough for the Kerry jersey.
On the other side of that, Pat, it is still the middle of February. Is it too early for a crisis yet?
It is a crisis, Michael, with a capital C. There's 3 away games in this league, against Kildare, against Tyrone and against Donegal. Like I said, we're in transition, and the young lads just aren't good enough for this senior standard. And Division 1 this year is very, very competitive. So we are in transition. We should have started probably rebuilding last year. It's going to be a long, tough year for Kerry supporters.
Pat, let's talk about the Dubs. They've had 2 wins now in the league, and that's the kind of start they would have liked.
2 wins, and they won by 10 points. They should have won by 25 points. They kicked 11 wides, put 5 into the goalie's hands, and missed 4 clear goal-scoring chances. But I'll tell you this is a serious Dublin team this year. They're a different team from last year. They're playing with the intensity and work rate of the previous years. There's great competition for places, but what I like about this team I've seen so far under Jim Gavin is this is a team playing with pace, moving the ball quick, long and fast. the half-backs have a licence to attack and the forwards are playing as forwards. These are a serious threat for Championship and League honours this year. They're a serious team.
All right, Pat, thanks for that. We'll be hearing a little bit more from Pat later in the
day once again for you, Eamon.
Yeah, look, it was a disappointing week. You know, we've had 2 disappointing defeats now in the last in just over 7 days. So, look, we've a good bit of work to do. We knew that ourselves coming in. We'd flagged all along that these were going to be 2 very tough games away to Mayo and at home to an energetic Dublin. So. You know, we're disappointed, but we'll go back to the drawing board. We'll work hard for the next 3 weeks, and we've a couple of more tough games coming up away to Kildare and away to Donegal. So, you know, there's no easy games in this division, but we'll keep at it and hopefully we'll get a reaction next day out now.
You know, I think that defensively the guys did very well. We're under severe pressure there in the second half by the Kerry forwards. They put a big shift in, Kerry did, and our guys stood up well to the challenge, so that kind of is probably the most pleasing aspect.
Well, now the other big match.
Yeah, great day. You know, we great performance against Cork last week, and it's good to carry it on again down here in Killarney again today. It's always a tough place to come, so any day you can come here and beat Kerry, it's a great thing, yeah.
And the team, you know, despite the fact that you've a lot of youngsters coming onto the team, it looks like it's gelling really well for this early in the season.
Yeah, it is. A lot of these lads would have played together throughout the years. There's a lot of guys after coming up through the minor setup in 21s, and they're very familiar with each other, so I think the cohesion at those levels has kind of helped here, and you know, it looks like a real good team out there, and the competition for places is really heating up, so looking forward to the rest of the year and the rest of the league matches.
You've got a 3-week break now, so the 2 matches, how do you assess where Dublin are at now with a 100% record after the first 2 rounds?
It's hard to tell because it all depends on where other teams are at. You know, come summer it's a completely different ball game. You know, you wouldn't expect to be coming out in here and beating Kerry by however many points we did today in Croke Park in the summer, so it's hard to read into the league games, but you know, it's a great platform to come along here and get a good few games under your belt before you push on to the summer, and you know, we're playing really well, so it's a sign of good things to come.
How satisfying was it that having gone down to 14 men, that you kept Kerry scoreless for the remainder of the game while you notched down a goal and a point yourselves? You know, you finished really strongly despite your numerical disadvantage.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of precedent there. Whenever we go down to 14 men, we seem to play better. Since I've played with Dublin and we've lost the man, I don't think we've lost the game, so I wouldn't say it's something we set out to do, but you know, we organised ourselves well and we were able to manage it, so you know.
Okay, we'll go agus is tusa leach na himmerha agus mi holo cronín an seach and an gradam of run earth. All right, Goril Magad Kian. Okay,